PC Cortina City back for another instalment. It's Friday night. It could even be Saturday night. Who knows these days? This used to be PAPPA. This is KP. Well, the DVLA finally did what they're supposed to do, and we don't have to run it on PAPPA's plates no more. We don't have to insure it in British Guiana anymore. And of course, keeping with the theme of Cortina City, we always bring you the best in feline action. Smokey, come over here, lad. Yes. Wait for the credits to roll. We got ourselves a 50,000 kilogram killing machine. Oh, 50 kilograms of pure killing power. Say hello, Smokey. Roll the credits. This is Cortina City. Okay, you just saw us cleaning up the carpet, and before I did that, well, whilst I was doing that, the car was in for the seat trim. So, update for PAPPA, a new Cortina City video, welcome aboard. So that's the seat result, which I think you'll find really nice. Too good for PAPPA, just too good. But it isn't PAPPA anymore. Welcome, this is KP. Because PAPPA had to give up its reg eventually. We were insured in Guiana, but we're no longer insured in Guiana. What does that mean? It means DVLA send us the logbook, and that's the plate. People were asking what was the plate. Don't think I showed it. There's reasons for not showing it, of course, because they had the plates made, but now they're there. So we've got KP on board, a 921K versus the Swamp Monster at 922K. The reg plates only one digit out on the last three, and in fact a P for the beginning, so you get just one digit. The E and the 1 are the only difference, and the 1's sequential. So really the letter E is the only difference between this plate and Swampy. If you rearranged the letters, of course you get two lots of K, but 921K versus 922K, a total coincidence, folks. A total coincidence. I did not order that plate. It's a Kent plate, by the way. I did not ask for that number. That was what was sent to me. That's just the way it is. It's a massive coincidence. Anyway, screen's out because we've got some rot over here, which I'm going to have to braise. I'm going to braise this. And also, whilst I had the screen out, it gave me the chance to touch up the crash pad. Badly sun faded. You can just see a little bit of the sun fade in there. It happens a lot, especially on tan. This rattle can was mixed up with a special canvas ingredient in it. So they call it canvas, that's the colour. But it's got a special brown door gun reference optimizer. It's got some special chemical binding in it, ideal for the crash pad. But I need to tell you what it is. They call it Cortina Pete's brown door gun reference TS. I'll have to zoom in for you. TS 0004. I don't know what it is. Optimized 1, 20% base, 80%. Sorry, but that's paint gobbledygook. Anyway, they assured me that it would be great for the crash pad top and the door card, so we're going to match those in. The seat colour was the closest we could get off the roll in that vinyl, and it's not bad at all. It's pretty cool. In fact, it contrasts nice. The carpet you saw me cleaning and washing there came out really nice. That was a 45 quid carpet from an auto jumble, and I've just got this blanket on there to stop the overspray, but I'll show you the carpet later. But it is all right. It did come up really good. Let's sneaky peeky under here. It did come up good. It needs refitting. The carpet trimmer fitted it so that he could get the gear selector cut out, because this is a bench seat car and the carpet would have holes here for the handbrake lever. Of course, we have a dashboard or umbrella handbrake. So he's fitted a sort of over trim pad in contrasting brown, same as the lovely carpet mats that we've got here. Okay, so we've got nice brown tan mats. We've got some side trim here. This car had a black carpet, so it had black side trims there. We're going to 2-pack those up in the darker brown. That's the brown of the dash here. It's not Tony Brown, that, because some copper bronze cars also had a brown dash, some green cars also. So this is like a generic interior metal brown. Same on the A pillars, going on the downside there, and on the B pillars. So that brown matches the rest of the plastic. So a two-tone brown interior they always had. Okay, so we're going to match that with a 2-pack plastic can. But this is a different paint. This isn't 2-pack on here. It's a single solution. But this would be the 2-pack behind it. So we're masking off inside the car. And we're just dusting it in. I'm not going to go to the front because it hasn't faded. So I'm hoping I can blend this in. It doesn't have to be a mega concourse job. That's the thing with this car. It just has to be tidy. We've got to scotch pad this up. Here, there's a little bit of rust on it. Got to fix that hole. Then when we scotch pad that up, we're going to be 2-packing that in that dark brown. Also, the rest of the plastics. The door cards get this treatment. As you know, they're GXL door cards. We didn't have the right ones for the front, although I have got some in black. Would be interesting to see how many coats it takes of this to get black to go brown. I could test on a sample piece, so I could put the door cards back to L spec. However, I do like those wooden trims, so I'm tempted to keep them. Then you could always keep a set of cards. If anyone buys the car off me, then they would have them. The screens are out because the headlining was fitted. We've got a new headlining. Whilst I was into the trimmers, I took advantage of a couple of free slots that he had, because he's highly booked up. I was so lucky to jump in. And I said, well, just do the headlining while you're at it. So I put some tweeters up there as well and run some cabling in for the Alexa system. And I thought, just put the headlining in. So we did that. It was all right in this, but it was cracked, and it was going to crack more. It had gone brittle. If you've never had your headlining replaced on your car, if you've managed to keep it supple, you've done well, because a lot of them, even if they're intact, start to go brittle. Anyway, that's the score. We've got the new plates on, the logbook through, of course, and we've got the trim to just tidy up. So I'll be taking the seat out. The trimmer kindly fitted everything back just so the carpet would go good. I've got the soundproofing to fit onto the bulkhead. Look, it's in the back. I get that from Martrim. It's a soundproof and heatproof type affair. It's in the headlining as well. We took out the old mouse-eaten cloth and felt that was up there, all covered in mice bites, and debris was up there. That all came down. And of course, you just want to tidy up the best that you can. So I'll carry on dusting in down here now with that plastic paint, that specialised paint for the crash pad, and then I'm going to clean up. I know you might think it's the wrong way around, but I'm going to highly protect this with a metal plate and some blankets. The reason that I'm doing this first is I was very curious as to how this would react in terms of fish eyes and things like that, and I wanted to just get it out of the way. If it didn't work, I was going to go straight back to the paint shop before they shut today. So there was a method in this. However, it does seem to go on quite nice, and I haven't noticed any fish eyes. So this is a way to smarten up your crash pad. I'm just going to put some more sheets now down to cover the seats up. Now we know we're getting somewhere with this. Okay, so a bit more covering up, but we are only just dusting it in. It isn't a full paint. If I was going to do that, I'd remove the whole crash pad. Okay, so we'll carry on with that, and I think you can see it's looking good. We did use, I'll see what you think about a match. We used this as a match. Is it over here? Yes, it is. This was the match, and the patch, that's all mucky actually, so it's an unfair piece to test. So we really highly cleaned this corner of this parcel shelf trim piece and then used it to match in. So that's how I got that match. They put it under a spectrum analyzer, a clean patch of this at the paint shop, so you can get this lens that goes down onto the piece that you want, and that'll give you the closest match. It came up as a 95% match that it could get with the paint code. So you can do it. If you bring a sample into your paint shop, they can spectrum analyze it and then give you your paint code. Other times you can get the RAL codes, or you've already kept your codes. I've kept a lot of my codes for the different colour schemes across all the range of my cars: Ruby, Bramble, Swampy, and PAPPA and Tina G. I've all got paint codes stored. I've kept them safe. So some blankets on here now. We always keep plenty of clean blankets over there, over these seats, and I'll just dust that in. That's all we need to do. See you in a sec when we're dusted in, and we'll get on with the brazing work. Okay, PC Cortina City back with some interior fun, and of course I'll take you through the interior when all the bits are out and show you that carpet. We're going to wheel this outside for doing the brazing work. See you in a sec, PC. Okay, let's get this hole sorted out. We'll just get the crocky in, clean that up. That's going to clean up your... But before we do it, of course, I'll be cringing if I don't cover up the crash pad, so it'll just flick it out everywhere. So I'll cover this up now, get that cleaned up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to overlay the metal slightly, then just tap it down, because we'll get a better finish if we actually braze this in as opposed to MIG it up. So let the braze flow, and then we'll sculpt to the braze. It's more watertight, the braze. You can get a complete waterproof seal in one go. No need to skim fill it. It wouldn't really matter if it did leak there, because it goes straight down into the scuttle area, but it's best to have it sealed up. So cover up the crash pad, then clean this area up with a crocky, just make it into a bit of a neater shape. Find a little piece of metal that's slightly oversized, and we're going to let the metal sink in. Big sheet of metal plate behind here to absorb the heat. Fire extinguisher ready, because we have got wax inside there that could ignite. I doubt it will, but we'll have a little fire extinguisher ready anyway. Off we go. Right, I've made a little cardboard template to fit into this. we'll get our aviation shears ready and cut a little bit of metal to make that drop nicely into there, like this. We're going to braze that in, not MIG it in, just because it's that window area. And then we'll check, it doesn't look like there's any other rot, clean that up, ready for the windscreen to get refitted back in. So easy enough with some cardboard scissors. Tin snips ready, aviation snips. Let's find some little bits of metal, should be a little square offcut somewhere that I've left around, and then get the porta pack out. Should be in the corner. It is, I can see it. Fire it up. We're going to have to push the car out because my smoke alarm will go off unless I bypass it. I don't want any fumes in here anyway, so I'll push out. It's not raining. If it was raining, then we'd have to put a, I think you can get a cover you clip over these. I haven't got one, but yeah, I'd have to do that. The CO alarm might go off, I doubt it though. CO alarm's over here. That usually just goes off exhaust fumes, to be fair. So let's get on with this. Okay, I put that heat shield there, nice thick piece of metal, blanket over the crash pad, then put the braze in here and sculptured it down just with a crocky. So now I will skim that in. I've got some metallized filler that I used on the transmission tunnel on Bramble. It's a very hard metal based fill, so I'll use that on this, then flat it back down, sand it back down so it's smooth, then paint that up. Clean up any rust that's under the seal. It's quite clean under here anyway on the main run. That corner, if we go round and just have a look at this corner, you can see how they start to rot, these Cortinas in these corners here, look. This one's good, we've caught it in time, so just clean that, treat it, and that aperture is then ready. We could do with just scraping off the hard mastic that this Ford sealant is used. Factory sealant, scrape that off. The windscreen guy will probably do a little bit more cleaning of that, but that's that. Then I'll put this brown paint onto the front part of the dash, mask off here, and then that's that done. I'll take the two plastic floor trim pieces out because they'll get that 2-pack paint on them as well. It's tough stuff. And then I think that's it for the this area. We'll move on to doing the carpet. It's got to take the carpet out. It was put in just to line it up so we could do the stitch pattern. I'll show you that when the blankets are off. And then we've got to relay the carpet with the sound deadening foam and get this car nice and quiet. The door cards, I'm going to brighten them up with this. It's funny because that is the exact colour, but the door cards, I think there's two types of shade. This one is correct, this door card, but that door card, even though it seems to match the back door card, it looks like the original colour of this is the darker version, yet the crash pad is lighter. So there is definitely 3 different colour schemes in this. You've got slightly darker vinyl on the cards and the seats, then a lighter vinyl colour, lighter brown on the crash pad top, and the triangular pieces. It's strange because these triangular pieces that match on the parcel shelf just taking you in the car, these fit in that corner up there and they're supposed to match that. The only thing I can think of is these door cards are really dirty and they would be this colour. That's what I'm thinking. Probably that's what we've got. So they need cleaning up and then priming up. Then if we dust them in with this, we should be back to an even colour scheme. And then of course we've got these GXL cards or XL cards, which it shouldn't have, but I ended up liking them. And the original ones for the car are well gone. They're completely burned and scorched out. As I said, I've got some black GT ones, but it seems a shame to mess them up. I really should sell them on. I acquired those for this, but I don't know. I mean, this colour might go over black and we can use those GT cards, but I've got used to liking those wood trim XL door cards, even though it's not correct. Anyway, it is a bit of a mix and match, the old KP, now called KP, but well, we'll see how we go. It's not going to worry me that much. You could always put L spec cards back in it, if indeed I said this before, if I sold it on. Anyway, I'll think about that later, and for now I'm going to do a bit more cleaning up, but I'll protect this pad. At first it was just really rough and you didn't really worry about it. Now it's painted, it's like, I want to make sure we protect that. Let's get that metal sheet off there. No damage done while we were brazing there. So let's get that braze repair finished and this finished off. See you in a sec, PC. Okay, so we're just using this die grinder with a little brass wheel on the end, a little wire wheel. Gotta clean that channel up and just make it nice and smooth there. Sorry about the compressor running in the background, but this gets it just that final touch, ready for the rust treatment. Then another flat down with a scotch pad, and then some paint over the top of that. That part of the dashboard's done. Just need to clean up any rough bits, just so the window screen guy's got an easier job and the sealant fits better. So we should get a waterproof screen on this. It was leaking, so this is an advantage to do this anyway, because we did have a leak in that corner. I'll carry on with this now. We'll get this nicely cleaned up, folks. Right, finished with that. I'll show you the tool that I use for cleaning the window aperture. That is a little die grinder with that brass wire wheel on the end. Very good for getting into here. Now, the trick with this, you don't want to be taking paint off. That's why this is good, because some of the paint is perfect, okay, and there's no need to mess with it. In fact, on here you can see where the factory hasn't quite sprayed the spray liberally into the aperture there. Look, still got some grey paint. I wonder if they mask the inside off to paint it. It's funny, paint comes up here and fades out to primer. Interesting. Anyway, this area here, there's no rust down it. There's no point making a mess, or not making a mess, but scuffing the paint, because it's perfect. So to get the excess rubber off, just like the windscreen guy's scraper go down there, you're making some mess you don't need to do. The reason I used this was where there was some crustiness and bubbles, and round here, that spindle shape for the wiper, crusty, and it'd be hard to get to that once the screen's in. So I've cleaned that up, got the crustiness off it, then just made it so it's smooth along the top. That'll help for the sealant to stick on, adhere, and also stop it leaking. If you don't do this and clean it up, it probably will leak. Really, if you're fitting a screen, you've got to put some effort into it and do the job right. Just throw the screen in. Yeah, it'll work, but it'll leak in the corners more than likely, and you end up trying to squirt stuff in. You can get liquid stuff you pour down. You can get round it. But it's better to make a clean job so that when your windscreen fitter guy comes, he's happy. You want to make his life nice and easy, then he'll be in a better mood. Okay, so we're going to make that nice. We've got to put that aluminium fill into this and skim the top of that, then paint this. Let's rust treat it first, then scotch pad it back. That's a scotch pad. It's just a kind of wire wool pad, different grades. Then I'll be using the Tawny Brown, well, not the Tawny Brown, the factory standard interior colour scheme brown to paint in here, just because I've got it in the can. In theory, this should be Tawny Brown under this seal, okay, but it's not, because we haven't got any Tawny Brown paint. It doesn't really matter for this particular application, for what we're actually doing. It's all covered by the screen, as long as it's clean machine and as long as it's rust free. Here around this area, this run, it's intact, so I was careful with the brass. That's why it's quite a good thing to use, because it's not as aggressive. So I laid the pressure off a little bit just to scuff it a touch. I'll go over that anyway with paint. And that's it, that's a clean window aperture done. Just needs that fill and paint, and then I'll wait for the screen fitter to come. Because I'm getting that rattle can ready to do this dash area, which I've now scotch padded up here, I'm going to do the side carpet trims in the same colour, because that's what this should be. They're in black because this had a black carpet. We've now switched to a brown carpet, so that consequently those side kick trims that hold the carpet up, the strips at the bottom of the door sills, should be now to match tan, should be the dark brown finish. Some were also in a light tan, but the dark brown finish will do for what we need. So that the 2-pack paint is good for hard wearing areas. Steering wheel was done in 2-pack, and that's in that dark brown. Again, the chocolate brown never wears off. It's rock solid stuff, the 2-pack. It's done in a tin that you mix. Here it is. So a 2-pack rattle can is got a little nozzle at the bottom. You put this cap here that comes out of this cap within a cap into the bottom, then you puncture it and it mixes the activator into the can, so you've got an all-in-one 2-pack rattle can. It'll last about a day before it begins to harden internally in the can, so it's best you use it all up. That says red, but it isn't red. I don't know why it says that. 333 was the number. It is right. So yeah, that's a 2-pack, but you've got to be outside when you do that, or have a serious mask. And I mean, you know, you've got to have a mask that's rated for 2-pack, because look at the warnings on there. It's dangerous. There's a QR code you can scan if you want further info for it if you were doing this, but get outside when you're doing this. It's dangerous. Not as bad with this type paint, but even then you're better off with at least a door open. Don't go back to the days. You know, it's part of the thing I regret, really. I mean, I wasn't reckless at all, but you're still exposed, even with your mask, between intervals and stuff. Never liked it. I feel for the paint shop boys, I really do. So, where are we? Yeah, it's time. Everything's clean. Andy Williams on the 8-track over here. A few more sets have been coming in. I've got one for Andy the Lens, a Radiomobile. Another one there, I think I've finished that one now. More tapes have been getting refurbed. We're all going there nicely on the 8-track department. And of course Pappa's got his 8-track up and running. That's the first of the fleet to do. Anyway, I'd like to get on with this carpet job, and this screen is holding me up. Plus, the screen fitter's booked and he's imminently on his way. I'd like this out of the way, because if he turns up any minute now, I'm behind schedule. We better get a shake on. Boys and girls, let's go. Project KP. Okay, we're just looking at the rear screen aperture before we get paint on the go, in case we needed paint for the back, which we do. We've discovered a hole here. So, best way to tackle that. I don't think there's one this side. We're okay this side. And we're okay everywhere else. So the best way to tackle this one, because again it's a leaky air, I'm going to braze it up again. A little piece of angle like this, which will offer up. If you watch, luckily I can get my hand in this area. And we can offer that up there, see? Clamp that and then braze it. It should work nice. It's better that way than, I'm just going to increase the angle on that bend actually. That needs to bend out a touch. We want it right up. So I'm just going to bend this out a little bit more. Then it'll go in. Then it's a lot easier than trying to drop metal flush. Yes, you'd see a plate over stuck in the back, but it's going to work. If you were concorsing it now, you'd cut out a square and let it in completely level, but we're going to go in at the back, okay, with that piece in, because it's tucked away and out of sight. I'm tempted to to do it, but I have to bring the MIG in for that. I haven't got the MIG here with me today, so this will suffice. Trim it back a bit, shape it up, and it's good to go. I've left a little ear on it to get the C-clamp on. So I think they didn't want to get the C-clamp into that angle at the back, rather grab it at that side. So I'm just going to slightly bend that shape, put that in and put the braze on it. And get the braze in that corner because it collects water in that corner. They always do. If they're going to rot, they always rot in those corners, and that's a leak straight into the boot. So I bet you that was leaking into the boot at some point. Luckily the boot's good. I couldn't get the clamp in, so I put a little screw into it till the braze holds, and I'll take the screw out. So that plate's up nice and tight into that gap. So we'll fill that full of braze. This is the PAPPA, your brazing machine. It's oxygen and acetylene, an oxyacetylene pack, better known as. Brazing rod I'm using, coated rods, they're already fluxed up, makes life easier. Move that out of the way because that'll catch fire. I've put the headlining back a little bit, we should be okay. I'll stick another sacrificial cloth in the back that's wet. So I'm going to wet a cloth now and shove it at the back just in case. So just get any cloth we can find, soak it in water and just tuck it under the back just in case. So I'm going to braze that up now. Okay, here we go. So just got to ignite, get the flame right. There's a wet towel behind there, may or may not work. Got to ignite here, like so. And then remember there's a petrol tank as well, but it's on the other side. Get your flame something like this. Should be good dirt. Goggles down. Filled full of braze. It'll spit a bit because there's rust. Nearly there for the first bit. That's the first bit. As we'll just keep going now, the screws looks like it's going to disappear, so let it disappear. Okay, that's all nicely brazed in. That shape there, just where my finger is. These pinholes are actually factory lead joints. That's not us. Honest officer. We're there. So that's good enough. That's fine. What I did to get in to this corner and shape it was this die grinder attachment. It's a sort of cone shaped pine cone. And you can get in with a pine cone and shape it, or the croc sander. The croc sander tends to not get right into the corner, where the pine cone needle point you can get right in there. Good for corner shaping. You're able to make it so the rubber sits in properly, otherwise not doing that corner when you've got excess braze that might have run into it would lift the rubber a bit. So that's good. That needs skimming because this is the factory lead join with this back panel to the quarter, and the quarter has a little recess here and this sits in it, and they fill it with lead at the factory, skim over, then they braze the corner. I've actually joined the factory braze in with mine. It's sort of fused all together, so that's quite good that. Okay, so that's done. It just wants the prep work on it, so there's no more messy work I don't think now. We're okay that side. So yeah, the reason the back screen's out of course was because of the headlining. Once that's painted I'll stick the headlining back on. I only had to peel it back a little bit, and there's a little clip, metal clip, which holds it on. It's just on there somewhere. So okay, we are good here. Gonna get some fillet on that and paint that in, and then some tawny brown. Now it has slightly pushed up here with the heat. I thought that might happen. I'm just going to tap that down before I put a skim on it. Okay, that repairs nicely in, sanded back, one light skim and then some primer on it, but I'm just going to give it a dolphin glaze, which is like a liquid filler, just to get a little bit of panel distortion where the heat's hit that and where the lead is round here. I just tapped it back, so I'm just going to skim it over. It's okay as it is, but I like to skim it in. The front is okay, so I've gone over this edge and cleaned it up. And that's ready to take the paint. That can take the, what we're going to call it, that can take the tawny brown metallic and then mix up some dolphin for the back. There's nothing needed here. Then we're going to go on to that. We've been waiting to do that for a while. Clean these vents up, mask them off, wipe that dust down so they're nice and clean, and it's ready for the screen to go in. Then move on to other jobs. So a bit of dolphin and a bit of tawny brown paint, so that basically when the rubber sits on, the paint's right underneath it. You wouldn't want to see like an edge there with a primer. So it's nice, just blend the colour, and I'll just fade it into this. I'll scotch pad this scuttle and I'll fade it into the scuttle. And we've got ourselves a little bit of a repair, so we're just going to be doing this, scotching that up, prime it in. Don't forget, this is just getting a 2-pack final coat over the rust. We're not going crazy with it. As you know, it's a Ratlook car. Although half of me now starts to want to make it concourse. Oh my god, get me out of here! Okay, that's a dolphin on. That repair's finished. I just dusted in now. And that is that. Primer goes on. That's it, really. And that just needs the final tawny brown, and that area's done the front screen. That's in and lacquered. We're ready to do this. That's a nice base there for the screen to seal on. Should be nice, so we won't get any rust coming back through this area for a long time. That's well protected now. The bump, the side coat, carpet side trims are outside ready for when we put the 2-pack onto here. So I'm going to mask off these air vents now and put the 2-pack onto. We'll blast this out with air once this is cured. Otherwise that dust will stick to that, although it was blasted out. But one last time. And then it's this rattle can here, the 2-pack can. There's probably too much. I wish there was other items in brown that I could be coating, but I'd already done it on an earlier video with the same paint. As you can see on this part, that chocolate brown coloured. The trim is the lighter shade, non-2-pack, as I said. So I don't think there's anything else we can use that colour for. It's such a shame to waste that can on just that area, but it has to be done. I could have just done the cheaper option of the rattle can in that colour, but because I was doing the plastic carpet trim sides, they have to be in the 2-pack. Any other paint won't adhere to the plastic. It just doesn't work. I've tried it. If you want to try yourself all these plastic paints and stuff, other than door cards and vinyl, that's different. Hard plastics, 2-pack works for me. It never seems to come off. It sets like rock. That's the 2-pack rattle cans on your plastics. And by the way, get a spectrum analyzer colour match for your trim. Don't be tempted to use swatch cards. Get a clean area of the trim, flip it upside down, or find a clean area where it's not been exposed to the sun, and get the paint shop to analyse it on the machine, because it's a lot better that way than just trying to use swatch cards. Okay, little tip. I'll be right back. We're going to get some paint on now, folks. Here we go. So in just a few moments we're going to go around PAPPA and show you what's been going on. We've done carpets, found a carpet at an auto jumble in brown, power washed it, cleaned it, we're putting it in. We're going to do soundproofing. The screens are coming out for the headlining. The screens are coming out to clean the top of the dash up. There's some little rust holes at the bottom of the screen. We're gonna get them brazed up. There's plenty to do. There's a new seat that's been recovered to go into PAPPA. KP, KP, KP. And by the way, talking of KP's reg, check the digits, 921K. What number does that remind you of? I think you'll find, if we go over here, I'll be right back in 2 seconds. You just have a look at this while I go and get something. Hold on. Yeah, you got it right. 922K. 921K. What's the chances? And I'm telling you now, Pete C says, I did not order this plate. That is what DVLA sent me, age related, based on the dating certificates kindly supplied by the Mark III Owners Club, thanks to Paul Runton and the Mark III Owners Club. Only 20 quid a year. To join that club, you get access to all sorts of reproduced parts, tech help, forum, club meets, the works, entrance into the NEC, all sorts of things. Mark III Owners Club, 20 quid a year. Now then, look, statistically, I got a K, I got a P, a 9, a 2, another K and a 1, a P please Bob, look at that, hey, an E please Bob, Ebenezer style, an E please Bob. Any mathematicians out there, can you please tell me, if you are a mathematician or mathematically inclined or minded, what is the chance statistically of these numbers being sequential? In other words, what's the total amount of registration plates available in that given year, which is K? How many plates were issued? In other words, what was my chances? 1 in 10,000, 1 in 20,000, 1 in 5,000. You tell me. We've got a call coming in. This will be the windscreen fitter. He's coming to put the screens back in. This will be Alan, our screen fitter. Hold on. Stop recording. Okay, so stepping into PAPPA. The sheets are over our new seat. But yeah, we've got a repair in this lower corner here, nicely done. And I've let the paint come in under the rubber so that if it ever did get painted, you don't have to lift the rubbers up. There'll be paint leading under that rubber. Of course, you probably would still string the rubber when you paint because there'll be a different match, but we've painted the top of the dash here because I had the chance to do it with the screen out. It's a dark brown. It's the generic brown that they use on the tan interiors. It's not colour matched to the body colour because this brown would also be used in a green car, an onyx or an evergreen, depending on your interior colour scheme. So they just use generic 2-tone, even 3-tone colours, door cards, crash pad top, plastics and dash fronts. Anyway, I had the chance to clean up. What I didn't do is bare metal or anything like that because PAPPA's just rough and ready, but we did flat it back, and it is a 2-pack paint, so it's nice and tough. Dash pad got repainted with a flexible plastic paint. I'll talk to you about that later, but that's come up good. That was very badly sun faded, so it shows you can repair a sun faded crash pad. There's a few other little bits and bobs, the carpets and the seats I'll show you later on. I'm going to back this car out now because the screen guy is on his way. Alan, our screen fitter, will come now and we'll seal this in. Shouldn't leak. I've done it all properly and prepped it and cleaned it. Everything's good to go there. I've got a cable to route up through the headlining. I'm going to do that. Should have put it in before the headlining. I did the tweeter wires, but I forgot to do the power for the Alexa unit, which goes just here. It's a switched feed for Alexa, voice control, which we use. People saying to me, why do you have Alexa? I liked your car till you told me about Alexa. They've no idea. They're talking from here. They're talking from here. Absolute rubbish. Alexa, ignore the stereotype there and just see it as voice control. See, as soon as you use the word Alexa, people tend to go off on a different area in the mind. Call it voice control, okay? Why would you have voice control? Well, it's for safety, really. Alexa, navigate to XYZ. Now you might say, oh well, you're distracting yourself with navigation, But we used to use maps. You can't have a car if you don't navigate, so there has to be some way. So pick the safest way to navigate. And Alexa's completely over the audio. It's not done with a screen. You can have a screen if you want on your phone if you wanted, but you can put the phone in the glove box and listen to the voice control instructions for your directions over the radio. You'll have seen that on previous videos, even the last PAPPA video when PAPPA drives to the NEC. Me and Chris end up using that voice activated and guide control, basically sat nav over audio. You know what I mean. So that's all that stuff there. We're going to take you inside later on, but I'm going to roll the car out now. Enough of the KP ramble. Doesn't rhyme. KP. We'll have to come up with something. But how do we switch from PAPPA to KP now the reg is gone? No more PAPPA plates. Oh, you're driving it around with PAPPA plates on. Yeah, insured in Guyana with my contacts there. We've got a banana plantation over there, and they insured it for me. So it was insured by a banana plantation. All strictly above board. So we've been spraying liberally everywhere. And there's a little bit of, do you know what? There's a bit of overspray. What are you going to do? What have you done there? Look at all that overspray there. What do you do? Oh, look at that mess you made. See you in a sec. Stop recording. Right, let's roll the wagon out. Do this outside. Have a bit of fun outside. We'll get this out. Smoking jar. Here we go. Okay, so here's the seat, and it looks very nice. Let's look at that. Too good for the car. How about that? Nice seat. Well done there on the trimmers. Here's the carpet that you saw me washing. We put these pads on there because there was holes where the handbrake is and where the gear selector would have been, because this is a different gear selector. It's a bench seat car. That's the only match we could get for carpet, so we two-toned it. But yeah, there you go. What can you do? Peel this up. We've got to put some of these under. The carpet trimmer started, then he ran out, so I've got to carry on. Vac out, bit of rust killer on there, and we're good to go. So carpet out next. It's been in for trial fit, of course, was mocked it all up. Trimmer did it. I said, well, it's got to all come out again. But it was good that he did it, to line it up with the gear selector hole, because there was no hole there, of course, because I said it's bench seat. A few other little bits of trim to do. See you in a sec. Okay, everything cleaned up there, and then I just primed it, and I just put some Tony Brown on just to dust it in. See a bit more factory with a tawny brown just over that primer. Everything's rust killed, so it's ready now to cut the templates. Use the templates to cut the foam. Foam can go down. Then I think we can just fold the carpet back. I've got some cables to run here, which is the subwoofer. So the subwoofer picks up off the speaker run. So we run tap into the speaker wires, or run 2 more speaker wires up to the front, and it does come with a loom that already have those on it, but it would mean another wiring job. So it could be done. It could be done when I get it. I don't know whether to put the cables in now or plumb it in after. Don't know. That's a good call. It's a very good call, that one. Don't know what to do. I shall decide in a sec. Hold on. Got the template off. Just in case of cutting out. Easy to cut as well. One of these will be shorter than the other. This one goes longer over the tunnel, just because the way I have the cardboard. Very easy to do, straight up on this cut. This way we go. Okay, it fits in quite nice. I just hope it will make the shape. It should do. So take that off. It might not fold exact. I don't know how good the glue is. Looks like there's rain coming, folks. We might have to call it off or roll back into the workshop. The trick with this is not to get it to touch anywhere till this is off. I think that's the hardest part of it, is removing this. I'll be right back when we've got all this complicated sticky off. I wish they'd made this a bit less tearable, to be fair. It shouldn't tear that easy, really. We'll be right back when this is fitted. Yeah, that's what I thought. I might get these shapes. I wasn't sure if it could follow them. I think it can. I think it can follow the shapes. I'm sure I've done this in all my other cars. Why I can't remember, I don't know. But yeah, that follows all right. Because we've coated and cleaned the surface, that's helping a lot. There's no dust for it to just peel off on. So you're getting it a pretty good adhesion there. Once it's down, shaped, it's good to go. Got to stick with where it goes now, really. This bit might be funny. We'll leave that because we can cut that there. Let's go for the main run. Forget that. Oh, it might go. It might have some stretch in it. Minimal drift. Sometimes it'll drift across, but that's not too bad. Probably. Whoa, stuck my hand to it. Seatbelt mount points we need to cut out as well. Forgot about those. Any keen-eyed viewers spot the seatbelt mounts that Pete forgot to cut out. What an idiot. Okay, this is going up. I'm supposed to push it that way, but I don't think it has. No, I should have pushed it that way. That's annoying. Slightly out. Don't know if I'll get it. Might do. Yeah, I might get it. Must have cut that one slightly shorter. Oh well. Nobody's perfect. What we'll do with that one, come up a bit, just about here. There's our windscreen guy. Bang on time. Right, that's alright up to that point, we'll see you in a sec. That's Kevin, he's fitting the screen. Front screen to go in, back screen's gone in. Welcome to another YouTube video. He's even fitted the inlay there. That's nice. That rubber was good. I think we did okay there. It's been sealed as well. With it's a non-setting sealant, Alan.
Harbour mast.
Harbour mast.
No,
That's.
no, it does over the years, but.
Harbour mast. So I've just done this, it's ready to rock, that's nice. We're all done there, I'll show you that later, we'll pull the carpet right back. Now just doing the back section. I've just cleaned down this so there's no dust on it, and then I lightly went over that with thinners and a brush just to key it so that will take, because if there's dust on there it's best to just get it tacky. Also we've rust killed it as well, so just get a little tack layer on there for the acoustic foam to stick to. I'll get that stuck down now, just got to cut that length. That was a handy offcut that was left, just happened to fit in the back.
Produces the firearm, produces the revolver from behind his back, points it at Matt, and then pulls the trigger.
Is pleaded guilty to the manslaughter of 39 people found dead in a lorry trailer in Essex. Marius Mahai Dragici is alleged to have been the ringleader of a people smuggling gang and was arrested by police in Romania last August. The victims were all Vietnamese nationals suffocated in a wagon with temperatures of up to 38 degrees Celsius. A number of others have also been jailed. Councillor Jeremy Hunt has announced new mortgage measures after meeting top bankers in
Looks like, let me just bring it up to the lens.
You can tell it's old because it's made out of wood.
Yeah, that's a good tool. Screen insertion tool, folks. Screen insertion tool. Trim insertion tool, sorry. It's a handy little thing. You could make that yourself at home, folks. Missed one little bit, but that saves some time. Okay, screens are in and fitting nicely. All the soundproofing stuff is in. We've got nice mats going all the way up, all the way to there, to the footwell, curving round nice. All round the back. So there you go. We're in both sides. But I've run out of time. I'm not going to get it all back together today. It's Friday and it's getting up towards 6 o'clock. I'm tired and I'm just going to go and edit out some footage. We'll get the car undercover for now and get some dinner. We'll have a go tomorrow, Saturday. Spend a bit of time on the trim, run some wires for the subwoofer, a couple of other things, then get the seat back in. I'm going to have to just drive it in with no seat, then put the seat in behind it. So it's tools away. And for you it's just a few seconds. For me it's a whole nother day.